Hey guys, welcome to Storytime with Mr. Dan. This version of Storytime will be about viewing experiences. Some of my favorite memories involving watching films, whether on TV as a kid or at the theater, or in this case, a very unusual circumstance, which is one of the things that makes this, one of the two reasons that makes this particular story so memorable. The other one is the quality of the film itself. But these videos will be relatively short, little anecdotes about when I watched certain films and the impact that they had on me and the circumstances. Okay, so how about this? I grew up in the 90s, but my dad would watch all the classic 60s and 70s horror films, and I found them scary and lost a lot of sleep over them. I love the classics because they rely on story and suspense and skill rather than shock value. Another comment.
This was creepy in a fun way, and I still enjoy it to this day. My siblings and I, to this day, still talk about this film and how it scared us when we watched it. I think I was like 6 or 7 when it aired on TV. And I remember thinking to myself, I'm not going to the bathroom by myself during the commercials. Another comment. This scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. But whenever it was on, I had to watch it.
You see, I identified with all of these comments. This is why I love this film so much, and this is why I love films like this so much. Now, this particular film I did not see on TV. The circumstances are rather unusual. I was actually invited to go to the Poconos in Pennsylvania, like a mountain resort. This was during the summer, and I guess there was some kind of like an activity room with scheduled activities. And for one of the scheduled activities, they had a movie night. So basically we just went into a very bare bones room. They pulled down a screen and they showed with the projector probably about 30 feet away from the screen, they showed the 1973 film Don't Be Afraid of the Dark. I'm guessing this was anywhere from 3 to 4 years after the film had debuted on television. So I did not see the TV debut. This was my first time watching it. So me and my friend, and I'm going to say maybe about a half dozen other kids, sat on the floor and we started to watch this film. And, you know, the film is about a couple played by Kim Darby and Jim Hutton who move into an old house. And, you know, they're just basically trying to get established in the neighborhood, and the husband's trying to get established at work while the wife is at home during the day. They have a caretaker of the property who basically says something along the lines of just, you know, probably best to leave the basement alone, as the wife begins to get more curious and tries to poke around down there. His warnings become a little more pointed, where he's saying, you know, some things are better left untouched, and, you know, please just listen to me. All I know is you're not supposed to touch the basement. Anyway, of course she ignores that advice, and she removes the cover of the fireplace, which not only leads up, but it leads down below the house. And she basically lets loose a bunch of these little creatures. They're like maybe about 6 inches tall max. They got these little like wrinkled up prune faces. A lot of people who have seen the film will years later still call them prune faces. Everyone's got their own nickname for them. And these little bastards are evil. Okay, you can hear them whispering constantly about like their evil plans. Anyway, it was just a great experience to watch this because it had us on the edge of our seats. Actually, the edge of our piece of floor. We weren't in chairs. But, you know, there's a scene where she's getting out of the shower and one of them grabs a straight razor and cuts her foot. I mean, the stuff that they did in the 70s was nuts. Okay, there's another scene where she has like a dinner party and there's like a floral arrangement on the table, and one of these little bastards is hiding in the flowers, and she makes eye contact with it and flips out in front of everybody, and of course no one else can see it but her. And it was overall a great experience. Okay, so it's not really my intent to give you a full-blown review of the movie. Here I'm telling you more about the experience. So yeah, like I said, this movie had all of us kids like entranced. We were like horrified, and I mean, it was, you know, it's a great, when you're a kid and you're with a crowd of other kids and you're kind of scared. I mean, it's a great thing. I can't really, so maybe some of you know what I mean, but it was a lot of fun. I'm so glad that I witnessed the film like this, even though, you know, I lost contact with my friend and the rest of the kids were strangers. Just one other scene, just to tell you, like, show you how, like, kind of like, how this kind of like scarred me. Okay. There's a scene where, as it goes on, they sort of ramp up their attacks, their physical attacks on Kim Darby's character. And at one point, one of them gets a screwdriver. Okay. And the way they do this is they have one of the actors, I guess, they make like a giant prop screwdriver. It's, 3/4 of the length of a person. And I don't think they use any green screen or anything like that. But they film him like with blackness all around him. And then there's a scene where he like climbs on top of her, I believe when she's sleeping. It's been a while. I'm looking forward to rewatching this actually. And he climbs on top of her and he takes the screwdriver and he's got it in both hands. And it cuts to him raising it up in the air and just, thrusting down with it. And that just, I mean, that was like horrifying. That was just like just a horrifying thing. Don't be afraid of the dark. In the Poconos with a bunch of other kids sitting on the floor, being scared witless and having the time of my life. That's my first great memory of watching a horror movie. Okay. Well, I'll be back with more story times. Tell me what you guys think, and I'll catch you later.